We're just okay, and we play some
Movies.
games. We're just okay.
Movie
games.
watchers.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Okay Movies. I'm your host, butt-chugging BIGGIESIZE, and I'm joined by...
Oh, gosh. The DMT acid Coke macaroon chef Gweedo.
Oh, shit. And also here is Penis Plunger Nasty.
Oh,
Sure.
very nice. Penis plunger nasty. How you guys doing?
Yeah,
Doing
I'm
good.
doing all right. Hanging in there, man. I got some Burt's Bees. You guys use
Ooh.
chapstick these days?
I sure don't.
I
No?
have to, remind myself to. Burt's Bees is good shit, though.
Yeah, wintertime, I've been outside a lot. I figure I got to protect my lips.
Well, what's so nice about Burt's is I guess it's whatever the cooling agent they have in it. So when you walk outside, it's like you're getting kissed by the wind on your lips. It feels so satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could wish that the wind was anyone kissing you, who would it be?
Jennifer
Oh,
Lopez. She's got some big lips.
Jennifer Lopez. Wow.
That's a good answer.
That is
Was that too
something
fast?
Well, that's
No.
something someone would answer from 2003.
Uh-huh.
But
What year is this?
it is a good
2003?
answer, though.
Yeah.
She does have some nice lips. She was in a movie not too long ago, and she started kind of looking her age a bit, because she's supposed to be the hot girl next door, and she's fucking the next door neighbor's son or something.
Oh.
And they're trying to make her sexy as fuck with the tight shirt and the blue jeans. She's got a nice ass, so it looks great. But it's just the facial region. It's as much as you can do to it, age just starts creeping in. It just seemed kind of weird, her being in that role, because she was that, 20 years ago. I thought she was fucking hot. I wanted to see
Yeah.
her titties.
Of
And
course.
now it's just everything from the neck down's still nice and tight.
You know,
Yeah.
Jennifer's not that way, though.
Who?
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just keeps looking
Yeah.
better the older she gets.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. I see that work done kind of look of a 50-year-old lady.
I guess I
Face
can see where you're
seems like
coming
it's
from.
getting longer. Yeah, it's just it's sloping further downward. I don't know if that's the plastic surgery or what, but because she was hottie too, and she is still cute. She's not ugly by any means, but I agree. The gravity's starting to pull on her face.
Pooling on her face?
That's right. That's how it happens, man. It's sad. But
we
anyways,
shouldn't be commenting on the looks of
Of a lady?
actresses just because they're a little older. Who
Yeah.
are we?
Who are we? They still look better than I ever will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I hit my peak
They got-
fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, true. I
10
mean,
years ago.
no, not true. That would put me at 19.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Your peak was at 19?
I was a taut 19-year-old.
Mm.
Maybe not
Huh.
emotionally or mentally, but physically, yeah, I'd say probably 1920 was my peak.
Sure. No, I felt the same way. I was about 40, 50 pounds lighter. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you there. Hey, great talk about our physique. I love it. You know what I also love? I love movies.
Oh,
And
do
there's
you?
one movie I do actually. The more we do this, the more I love movies.
No way, I
And
wouldn't have
one
believed
movie
that.
in particular. Oh, well, you better believe it, boy, because we saw a movie very recently called Blockers. Now, Nasty, you had recommended this film, and it'd been kind of on my radar because, the cover of the film has Judd Apatow written all over it. I don't know
Oh,
who
yeah.
made this. But then you see John Cena at the top of the poster, and you're like, why is he in this?
Right,
Because
right.
he's still in that, like, I would say he's still in those, like, early stages like The Rock was, where he's, like, in some things, and he's also been in a bunch of, like, directed DVD, probably garbage. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But he's, like, slowly starting to creep into that mainstream, fame that now, you would say The Rock's probably at his height and maybe could keep going up. I mean, he's been doing great.
Yeah, The Rock's
So-
the most paid actor in this year or this last year.
I think it was last year he was highest paid actor. That's
Right.
impressive.
It is for a
You know,
wrestler to come out of that
Seriously.
scene.
And his acting has improved
Oh,
significantly.
tremendously.
Yeah.
He definitely commands the screen. I think he's got a lot of range. Actually, me and Millpool talked about that last episode, that we felt The Rock had, considering his physique and everything, he has a lot of acting range. Like, I could, mainly
Does
action
he?
stuff is probably his. I think he does.
I don't know,
I really
man.
think he does.
You're giving him
Now,
a
I
lot
don't
of
think-
credit.
I'm
Wow.
not gonna say Tom Hanks range, but I think he's got some, like, definitely action stuff is his forte, just because of his looks and his, and all that stuff. He just really works in that role. But comedy, he's not too bad.
Hey, let's not forget Moana.
Moana, he's got good voice
Right?
chops. Yes, even a decent voice, not too bad.
Not. I mean, let's not go out on a limb here and say like fantastic, but he can sing, right? Or maybe he was
He can.
coached through singing and auto-tuned help. I don't know, but at least he can get enough out there to work with.
Right, and he's just so lovable, you just forgive it. I think that's what works to his advantage.
Yes.
And
Just
maybe
so
that's
charismatic.
why extremely charismatic.
Yeah, look at
Now,
that smile. I mean, just every time I see him smile, it's just like it melts my heart.
I agree, dude. He's a good looking fella. I wouldn't mind a hug from him. That's probably the one thing I'd like is a hug. But I think he's actually a really decent actor. I don't know about love, like a non-comedy, like a real serious love story, kind of. Like, I can't think of a good example of one. I don't know if he'd be able to pull that off. He may seem a bit awkward, but
What about like
I think
fuck. I was gonna say Love Actually, but that's not what I'm thinking.
Okay.
The one that Gerard Butler was in. P.S. I Love You.
Ooh. Yes, I Love You. That would probably be a good example. Yeah.
I don't think he would
know.
do so hot in that.
Right. I think and maybe it's his physique would be the detriment. Is he's just such a person that I just don't know him just as a character would fit very well. Maybe his acting could, but I don't know. It just doesn't work. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. But anyways, enough about The Rock. Let's get back to the Cena now. I've got to. How should we break this one down? Nasty, you want to just give us a quick, brief synopsis of the film, just so the people have an idea of what they're
I
getting
can do
into.
that. All right. Picture this. Opening scene. Little girls going to their first day of kindergarten. Oh, look how cute they are. Oh, and their parents are standing there taking first day of school pictures. And what do you know? They all become best friends. So the parents have to be friends. By the way, I must say that I'm definitely the guy that was like, hey, so does this mean that we should go get drinks? Like, do you guys want to go get drinks? We gonna go get some drinks? But anyways, back to the synopsis. So basically, they go through this awesome scene of the kids grow up. They're in high school. They're talking about how it's prom night. Mom, you gotta let me go to prom. You gotta let me grow up. Stop hanging on me. Good.
Okay.
And then,
Dude, I'm like in the
Keep
scene
going.
right now, man. You're doing great.
they get to the lunchroom. And by the way, taking a step out of this real quick, whose prom happened on Friday? Is that a thing?
I can't
I
remember
think
what
mine
day of the
did.
week mine was.
I think it was Mike, because we were all excited about it during school, and we all had to go home and change and go back. So
Okay, so apparently prom happens on Friday elsewhere. So these girls are all in the lunchroom getting lunch, and one of the girls is like, I'm gonna have sex tonight. It's the night. I'm gonna lose my virginity. And this other girl's like, you know what? Me too. And that's where she said something, something, something. Penises are not for looking at, they're just for use. A lot like plungers. By the way, this girl is really tomboy. And then the other girl's like, I don't know, maybe. So then they all go home. And then they start texting later. And they're like, yo, sex pack tonight. Eggplants in hand. Fucking penis in mouth. Sex packed. And then the parents overlook this shit. Meanwhile, obviously, how do you feel about this, right? Your kids are like, you know, little daughter's all grown up. She's going to prom. She's going to go get fucked by some random fucking high school boy. Probably don't like that shit. So what do the parents do? No. Fuck no. We're putting a stop to this shit. So then we go to prom, go to some parties. Parents do some stupid shit. It's pretty funny. John Cena butt chugs a fucking 40 in there. Mom crashes her car. Turns out, in the end, you gotta let your kids grow up.
Yeah.
Boom. The end.
Done.
That's the moral of the story.
Done. That is. So that John Cena butt chug scene, I want to know, like, when he read that in the script, if there was any hesitation from him to be like, I don't know if I want to go that far. Do you think, or you think like his publicist was like, Cena, man, you're on the rise, you're climbing. Butt chug scene, maybe a hair risky.
Nah, I think he was for it.
Yeah. I mean,
he seems like a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
Wants to just do comedic acting in this sense. So I think he was all for it. He probably thought it was funny. He hangs out in a locker room full of wrestlers, you know?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
No,
I think
agree.
that this really anchored him in that comedic role, right, that he's been trying to go for in some of the other movies that he's been in.
Right. I felt like his whole him in the film he was fantastic as playing like this overprotective dad. Like, I love his get up and how like serious he was about stuff. Like when he's going to that party, he's like, "Look, I'm crazy. My shirt's untucked." Like that was just, it was great. He was just so sincere about it. Even the butt chug scene, I agree. He was just so sincere about that kind of scene, and he was just so enjoyable. I love seeing him on screen. I mean, same way I feel about The Rock. He's just this lovable big guy that you kind of you really sympathize with as me being potentially a future parent, and like I could see myself being like that.
Right. I think that the sentimental I raised a tomboy kind of thing really helps secure that as well, right? Like, he's a big guy, he raised like this tomboy daughter who's really athletic, and he can't really look at her that way, and to him she's just this little girl that is always going to be like playing sports with him and shit like that.
Yeah, there's one part I couldn't get over, and that was just how dumb the parents were to like anything modern day.
Yeah.
Like, I get it's a funny little prop to have the phone belt clip, but like no one does that anymore. Like, nobody does that.
I don't know,
Not
man.
even as a joke.
The limo driver with the the Bluetooth earpiece was pretty good though, because I think that limo drivers still do that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, you gotta have hands free.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense. No, I liked it because he felt old school. Like his dad before him was that, like no nonsense. This is how we do things. So having, your pockets free from your phone, have it clipped to your belt, it just makes sense. Like it just fits his character.
He was also wearing cargo shorts, right? Like, and a tucked in shirt. Like, who tucks their shirt into their cargo shorts?
There's some dads do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
you might as well throw in the clip.
You might as well, right? Like, you're already that far.
It was also the scene with where they're trying to decipher emojis and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like they're just how clueless they are into internet and how kids talk and stuff. Like they raise these kids up to be 17-year-olds. They don't know what's going on here, except for the one guy who does.
Yeah,
Who can
but
decipher it all.
I mean, he was kind of a joke of a character a little bit as well.
They're all jokes of the character. They're all fucking caricatures of characters. You know, they're way extremes. Like,
This is true.
there's no one like John Cena's character. There's no one like Leslie Mann's character, who's like this ultra super overprotective mom, you know, that wants to chase down her daughter because she found a UCLA acceptance letter in her thing. Like, these characters don't exist.
Well, we hope they don't.
But that's it. It's a comedy, you know. You gotta
ham it up.
Right, you gotta ham it up. And they did a good job it being a comedy, I feel. But it really was just Super Troopers with parents thrown in. I mean, not Super Troopers, Super Bad with parents.
Oh, yeah. And
Yes.
more focus, I think,
Yes.
on the parents than the kids.
Right.
In this take.
Right. Yeah, I think they balanced that pretty well until maybe the very end, where I know Gweedo was like, third act sucks while we were watching it. And I would kind of agree. It starts dragging pretty hard at the end where they should have. But everyone's having their moments. I think they kind of deserved them, and I could forgive them. But the balance before that point with what the kids are doing, who are staying 2-3 steps ahead from the parents, and how the parents are reacting to figure out where they're going to next, I thought they had a good balance on kind of getting two pretty interesting stories and different takes, like how they handled the girls learning about what they're wanting from their guy, and
Or not
these
guy.
situations or not guy, especially the girl who ends up being the lesbian. Like, that was a really nicely handled and real classy, more than I
Right.
expected. And then having the parents kind of realizing they're getting older, and maybe they need to allow their kids to have trust them more. And I don't know, I really feel like it balanced both aspects pretty well. But I would agree, it did feel like super bad in that they're going place to place, having to handle this situation. And I love that in films. I love it when it has that kind of progression. And because it kind of feels like a normal, Friday, Saturday night when you're young, you're normally not staying in one place the whole time like I do, because I'm getting old and I'm lame and I get sleepy at like 11 o'clock. But, when I was younger, I'd be jumping around everywhere. I don't know where I'd be at like 7 in the morning. And I just kind of love reliving that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get the feeling you get from this movie. It was like a throwaway comedy for me. Like, there were some funny parts, but yeah, it wasn't anything special at all. Like, pretty forgettable for me.
I would agree. I mean, it's definitely not on that level of like Animal House or any other film, of that stature, where it's that, kind of teenage comedy, all kind of crazy shit happens kind of thing. It's a pretty standard fare, but it had so many great little moments. Like, we talk about the butt-chugging scene with John Cena. I mean, that's definitely like the poster board. This is what gets you into the tent. Like, I want to see that. I want that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But like little things, like the limo driver's the best example. Like, he had some of the best tiny little comedic lines of the whole film.
Right.
And like, the one I love is just a scene of them throwing up, and like, people throwing up. That's okay. It's funny. But then he's like, "Ooh, it smells terrible in here." And he just starts throwing up everywhere. And it's
I like
so
the Dukes of
funny.
Hazzard line too. Like,
Oh,
it goes to slide over the limo roof or the limo hood, and then he falls on his ass and is like, "Racist ass movie." Like, what?
He was so good. The limo driver just sold me on the film, and that was great. But no, I would agree with you, Guido. It's definitely not like the best movie ever. I would recommend people watching it. If you like movies like Superbad and all that stuff, then you'll enjoy this.
Right.
But
It's a good one take.
but it is. But I think the parents by far were the most fun part of the film. Like, I mean, even some of the situations they find themselves in, like that house with the two people who keep banging all the time. Like, those situations were pretty funny. Especially, there's one scene where, what are they playing, like, blindfold sex tag or something?
Blindfolded, like, they can't talk. They're blindfolded. All the lights are off. And they're just supposed to, like, find each other to bone somehow, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something like the one guy is in there and John Cena's in there, and the wife finds John Cena and the husband finds the other guy, and they're like declothing them and like grabbing their balls and stuff. Like, it was I wasn't sure how they got themselves in that situation, but it was pretty funny. But it's just setups like that are kind of interesting, and I have to give the film some credit for being clever in some ways.
I think that the biggest thing for me on the whole thing was that it was kind of
Hello?
Oh, Gweedo! Oh, he left. I was like, man, he's taking a dramatic pause.
Yeah, yeah, that was a very pregnant pause.
I thought, this must have like really hit him hard, like to his core. Like, man.
But
God.
yeah, I'm having a hard time figuring out anything really to say about this movie. Like, there were some funny parts, but overall, I don't know. It was okay. It was completely average. It's a good movie to throw on while you're just doing something.
Yes. Is there anything that you just did not like? I think we've all been pretty positive about the film. Is there just something you just saw and you just like, I really did not like that?
Well, the whole third act. It was just, it was a bore. It was a bore to watch. It was, it was trying to make you feel good, but it didn't succeed. So it just made things feel weird and awkward. And it was just a moment. Each of the parents, there's 3 of them, have to have a moment with the kids, with their individual kids. So it's like, okay, John Cena's turn to have his moment with his kid, and it's the sappy time. And then it's Leslie Mann's turn to have her time with her kid. And then she gets shocked by a TV as like a little gag joke, like a little pratfall. And then
that was pretty lame.
It was very lame. And then the other dad gets, his daughter comes out to him, says she's a lesbian, and it's just like, what do you want me to do here? Like, I'm not. Right. It's been a comedy this whole movie. These first 2 acts, you know, you had John Cena butt chugging, you had the kids talking about sucking dick and, you know, making jokes and shit, and now you want me to feel something for these people, you know? Like, don't end on this note. It's a comedy. Make it be a comedy all the way through. It turned into a fucking after-school special.
Good point. I agree. You know, ultimately, I think when you get to that moment in the third act, and let me kind of explain, because pacing definitely plays a big role in it. They go into this hotel, they have the whole level rented out, so kids are like partying and stuff, and this is going to be the final moment where all 3 girls are going to have sex. So, and the parents just know it, so they're searching through this whole floor to try to find them. And they search for it feels like an eternity. Like, they just keep running into stuff. You see this same cut scene where John Cena's like busting open the door, and he like looks for a second, he busts through again, he's looking around for a second, it just keeps going and going till finally you get to the scenes like what Guido's talking about, where they're actually having the talk. And at that point, it just felt like it's drug on for so long. They should have like cut those whole things in half, because it just loses that momentum.
Or make them funny.
Yeah, at least make them funny. I totally agree.
Because what's the audience? Well, yeah, what's the audience? The writers of this movie need to think about what the audience is at this point, because they sell it, they market it as like a frat kind of dirty comedy, or maybe late high school, college kids is the demographic, I think.
I would say so.
And then like it gets to this point and no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit, man. We just want to see fucking John Cena stick more shit up his ass.
Right. That's absolutely what we want. Or at least have your scene, but don't drag it out. You know, it should just be a quick, like, we should have trusted you and, you know, have a hug and that's it. But not like almost, you're right. It completely changes tone to like this funny, kind of raunchy-ish comedy, then to like a super overly sweet moment between the parent and the child. And it does feel out of place, and it doesn't quite feel earned either. You know, if it was something bigger, maybe, and I hate to say, you know, losing your virginity, I mean, it's sort of a big thing. I guess it depends on your take on it, but it just didn't feel warranted for such a deep scene of them connecting. Like, it just didn't feel right. I totally agree with you there, and it just drug the whole film down, especially poor, what did you say her name is? Leslie Mann? I always forget her name. Her whole scene, like, it drags on the longest. Like, she's sneaking around because she's, you know, scared that her daughter's going to see her in the room, and it's not funny, it's not interesting, it goes on forever. They could have used some, either a rewrite or just cut those scenes down.
Right.
And you still get the same point across. And,
yeah.
But, yeah, I agree with you there. That whole part was a little messy. I see what they're going for, but I agree, you know, 30 minutes prior, John Cena was butt-chugging, and now he's hugging his daughter in a hotel room because she may or may not have made the right choice. We're not, you know, I guess that's up to you to decide.
Right. And it's not only the kids. Well, it's the kids. It's the adults and the kids have their all separate moments. And then the kids have their separate moment where the one girl comes out and she's like, I'm not a virgin anymore. And the other ones are like, yay. And then the other girl's like, I'm a lesbian. And they're like, yay. So we have to sit through that. And then we have the other scene with the parents who are at the bar. And they're like, man, our kids are growing up. Weird, huh? And then one of them leaves. And then John Cena's like, what are you doing? Get over here. Have a drink with us. And they're like, yay. So it's like, it's just scene after scene after scene of them trying to make the audience feel something for these basically pratfalls of characters that have been, you know, tripping and getting into car accidents and throwing up and doing all sorts of stuff for the first hour of the movie.
Right.
Right. It's silly. I don't know why they did it that way.
No, I would say if they just cut down that final act of them running around trying to find their kids, it would have made the ending, I don't know what necessarily say better, but a little more tolerable, because they spend way too long in that whole scenario compared to everything else. And I think it would have been better, because I'm fine with the parents being like, hey, we're happy about ourselves, and the kids like, oh, we're happy about ourselves. But after you spent almost, it feels like a third of the film establishing that at the very end, it just feels lazy. Like, they're like, maybe even at the end they were like, we need to make this more lovey, so we just want to make this scene longer or whatever. It just doesn't feel fluent with the rest of the movie. So I totally agree with you there.
It also made the movie a non-issue, like the whole plot of the movie. Like,
right.
They could have just let them have their night and then talk to them when they got home.
Exactly. And exactly. And what I think would have been more, I don't know what the word for it is, more fluent, is if like the parents caught them like doing like some weird ass shit.
Yeah. Make one of the parents be right.
Yes.
Make John Cena, like that fucking druggy kid is hitting on on his daughter, and maybe she says no a few times, and then John Cena busts in. Right. And he's like, look, right. I'm right. I'm John Cena. I'm right. You need to be more careful.
Exactly. They because you're right. Once the parents actually get into the room and are talking with them, the scene's pretty much over. They've already said, no, we don't want to do this. Oh no, I'm a lesbian, or they have a really sweet scene and actually do it, and the mom feels embarrassed she's even there. That's just not. It doesn't make me enjoy the scene. I feel like I wasted my time. They wasted their time. Like, they need to actually have something happen where either the parent has to go in there and pull them out and say, you're not doing this on my watch, or something like that, just to make it, I mean, feel fluent, but also just make it interesting or satisfying. I just feel like at the end, everyone was like, the kids were like, well, I guess I didn't really want this. And the parents were like, oh, I guess we should have just stayed home. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I agree.
That's stupid.
The mom's part in that was, I think, the worst too, because like her trying to sneak out of the room was really drawn out, and I think it was meant to try to be funny, but it wasn't very funny.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Even the spark scene that Guido mentioned a little bit ago, like, was so out of place and was like funny, but not because it was actually funny. It was because why the fuck do you have that in there? And it's just, I don't know. That whole part was needed to rewrite. You know.
Yeah, go back and shoot it again, right? Like,
yeah, we're not happy with this. Do it again. But you know, it ends with them going to college and tricking them with a bunch of text emoji things again. Someone in our who was chatting with us while we watched it, like, called it. They were like joking about doing tons of drugs, and that's pretty much how the whole movie ends. Like, I mean, I agree. There's just not much more to say about it other than it's good. You know, it's fine. So guys, I mean, do you recommend it? Do you not? What's your feelings on it?
I don't recommend it. There's better comedies out there. You know, if you need something to watch in the background, throw it on, but don't seek it out.
I respect that decision or that statement. Sure. I kind of feel the same way. Like, it was a okay movie. It was something to have on. There's a lot of good one-liners, but I don't know if it's really worth seeking out specifically. Wait for it to come to like Netflix and watch it there or something. Put it on while you're falling asleep. I don't know. Like,
right.
You don't need the whole movie to enjoy it. I think you can pick it up in pieces and enjoy it just as much as if you had watched it all the way through.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those movies you're, you know, that's it. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, you'll enjoy it. But it's also a good one if you're like sitting around like midnight and kind of drunk. It's a good movie to put on.
I mean, there was a ton of good one-liners in there, right? Like,
definitely.
Paige and Dr. Muff Diver, when he's sniffing his daughter's fucking panties. That was pretty funny.
Ooh, yeah, that was really good. Yeah, that was really good. No, and it's good. Go see it. If you like those kind of films, go see it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Well, okay then. Well, we actually have a voicemail sent to us.
Oh shit.
Let's go ahead and see what they've got to say.
Hey, Just Okay Movies, this is Phil. I just wanted to call in and tell Biggie and Gweedo that you guys should both watch Better Call Saul. Biggie, you should finish Breaking Bad first, but Better Call Saul, I personally like a lot. Probably more even than Breaking Bad, and I really enjoyed Breaking Bad, but I just love the character of Saul Goodman, and finding out his whole backstory and kind of the prequel to Breaking Bad, and you get a bunch of characters, you know, from Breaking Bad, kind of their backstory and whatnot, and I think it's just really good. I love Vince Gillian, I think that's the director's name of both shows. He just does a great job. It's just shot very well. The pacing is good. Everything is just good. I highly recommend that you both go and watch Better Call Saul. It's one of my favorite shows by far. All right, that's all I want to say. Bye.
Hey man, thank you so much for calling in and letting us know that. No, Vince Gillian, he does seem like he's a real talented guy, and I don't know, like, before Breaking Bad fame, like what else he produced or wrote. Do you guys know?
Not offhand, no.
Okay. But yeah, you're totally right. I really need to go back and watch Breaking Bad, since it's a kind of a TV phenomenon, and you know, it's something I should definitely have watched all the way through. There's no reason not to. It's on like every streaming service.
Wait, neither of you have seen it all the way through?
I've seen Breaking Bad.
Oh.
I've watched the first 2 seasons of Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Same. Biggie, you haven't seen it though?
No, I stopped at season 3. I got a little too anxious watching it, and I just couldn't feel comfortable, and I just had to stop.
I could agree with that. I think there was some parts of Breaking Bad that it was like, I don't know how I feel about this or where this is going, and I kind of like that, but also at the same time it was kind of like, what am I getting out of this? But I pushed through, and I thought it was a good cap to the whole series.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's a good story. Better Call Saul is also a good story, although kind of lost me at the second season there, but I've heard the third season is good. Maybe I'll pick it up again.
I mean, to be honest, to me though, Saul was more of a supporting character than a main character anyways, right? Like just
absolutely.
his backstory and his just character development never really seemed there to be more than what he was in Breaking Bad for.
Yeah, but they're telling an interesting enough story with Better Call Saul.
Right.
I think.
It's a similar story though, right? Like good intentions gone awry, but from more of a schemy person than a well-hearted teacher kind of thing.
He starts off soft as fuck in the first season of Better Call Saul, and then you just watch him grow like Walter Whitman. Is it Whitman or White? Walter White, like Walter White does, who's soft as fuck, just needs to pay for his cancer treatment, and then becomes corrupted. It's the same kind of character development with Saul, where he's soft and he turns into this skeezy fucking criminal lawyer.
Right.
Very interesting.
It's entertaining. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Well, Phil, I might take you up on that. I might try to jump back in and finish those out, and I'll even try Better Call Saul, and I might go ahead and start that this weekend. We'll see how far I can make it until I just get too nervous and can't continue. But thank you so much for calling in. Really appreciate that. And guys, that wraps up actually our 50th episode.
Holy shit.
50 episodes. That
How does it feel,
blows
Biggie?
my mind. Dude, we've been doing this for 2 years now, and I can't believe it. That this much time's gone by, and the support of everyone has been fantastic. And I'm very blessed to have you all, and I really want to hear your thoughts on any topic pertaining to TVs, movies. We want to hear about it. Shoot us an email at justokmovies@gmail.com. Also, feel free to tweet us at justokmovies. You can also go on to justokmovies.com. Bottom of the page is our voicemail number if you want to leave one just like Phil did. And just once again, guys, thank you so much. Gweedo Nasty, thank you so much for being on here. This has been a blast to talk about this movie. I've been looking forward to it all day. And thank you so much. And also, if you want to join us for another viewing, we're doing them every now and then. But if you want to hear about it first, make sure to join the Just Okay Gamers Discord server. That's discord.gg/JustOkGamers. Normally, we'll post it on there in the announcements if we're about to do one. We also set up a voice channel so you can hop in, chat with us. We'll talk about the film, make fun of it, whatever. And please do so. It's a good time on there. There's good people on that server. And you go find a game that you want to play with somebody. All kinds of stuff going on. Definitely check it out. And we will see you all next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.